What would you do if love came to you when you were not looking for it? Would you trust it, or would you be afraid to believe in it? This is my story, and I want to share it with you. My name is Sarah. I am 28 years old. I work in a small factory in the city. The factory makes simple plastic parts. My job is not very special. I stand by a table and pack the items into boxes. I start at 8 in the morning and finish at 5 in the evening. Every day feels the same. Before I go deeper into my story, please remember to subscribe, like, and share this video if you enjoy listening. It helps me bring you more stories. Thank you. Life in the factory was simple but also quiet. I was not close with many people there. Most workers came, did their job, and went home. During breaks, some sat together and laughed, but I often sat alone with my tea. I did not mind, but sometimes I felt lonely. I told myself that good things take time. Then one day, something changed. The old factory manager retired. A new manager came. His name was Peter. He was 35 years old. He was tall and wore glasses. He did not look very strict. When he came to the factory floor for the first time, he smiled at all of us. "Good morning," he said in a calm voice. He walked to each worker, shook hands, and introduced himself. When he came to me, he smiled and said, "Hi, I'm Peter. I am happy to work here." I smiled back and said, "Hello, I am Sarah." For some reason, my face felt warm. From that moment, I knew he was not like other managers I had seen before. Peter was kind. He asked questions about our work. He listened to our answers. He even helped to lift heavy boxes during lunch breaks. No other manager had ever done that. The other workers were surprised too. As weeks passed, I started to enjoy my work more. I looked forward to the mornings because I knew Peter would greet me. Every day he said, "Good morning, Sarah." And every day I smiled. It felt nice. It felt simple. We started to talk a little during the short breaks. We talked about the weather, the food in the cafeteria, and sometimes about books. He told me he liked reading in the evenings. I told him I liked walking in the park near my house. He laughed at my small jokes, and I laughed at his too. Still, I tried not to hope too much. Maybe he was just being kind. Maybe he was the same with everyone. I did not want to dream. One afternoon, the machine near my table stopped working. I felt nervous because I did not know how to fix it. Peter walked over. He bent down, checked the machine, and pressed a few buttons. The machine started again. He looked at me with a smile. "Don't worry, Sarah. Machines stop sometimes. It's not your fault." I felt my heart beat faster. I whispered, "Thank you." He only smiled again and walked away. That evening, when I walked home, I thought about his calm voice. A few days later, Peter came to me during lunch. He asked, "Would you like to eat together today?" I was surprised. No manager had ever asked me that before. I said yes. We sat at a small table in the corner of the cafeteria. We didn't talk about work. We talked about our lives. He told me that he moved to this city last month. He said he was not married. When I heard the word single, I felt something inside me. I tried to hide my smile. From that day, our connection grew slowly. Sometimes after work, he waited at the gate and we walked together for a short time. He asked me about my family, my childhood, my favorite music. He listened carefully. I liked that. One Friday evening, it started to rain when work finished. I had no umbrella. I stood under the roof, waiting. Peter came out of the building, holding an umbrella. He looked at me and said, "Come, we can share." We walked close under his umbrella. The sound of the rain was all around us. "I like walking with you," he said softly. I felt shy but answered, "I like it too." That night, when I lay in bed, I thought about the moment under the umbrella. My face was still warm. I felt happy, but also afraid. Was this real? Or was I only imagining something that was not there? The next week, Peter asked, "Would you like to visit the city park on Saturday?" I was quiet for a moment, then smiled. Yes, I would. Saturday came. The park was full of green trees and small paths. We walked slowly and talked about many things. We laughed. I forgot about work and time. At one point, he stopped and looked at me. "Sarah, I enjoy being with you." I felt my heart beat again, but this time I did not hide it. "Me too," I said. He walked me home in the evening. He did not rush. He did not make me feel uncomfortable. At the door of my small flat, he only said, "I hope we can do this again." I smiled and said, "Yes, we can." That night, I could not sleep. My mind was full of his words, his smile, and the way he looked at me. For the first time in many years, I felt a new hope. The days after that Saturday in the park felt different. Work was the same, but my heart was not. Every morning when I walked into the factory, I felt a small joy. I knew I would see Peter. I tried to act normal, but inside, I waited for his smile and his, "Good morning, Sarah." One Monday morning, I arrived earlier than usual. I stood outside with my tea. The sun was not high yet. The air was cool. Suddenly, I heard his voice. "You start early today," he said. I turned and saw him standing there, holding his own cup. "Yes," I answered. "I could not sleep well last night, so I came early." He looked at me for a moment and said softly, "Sometimes I cannot sleep either. My mind does not rest." His words made me feel close to him. Even though he was my manager, he was also just a man, with the same feelings as me. From then, we often met before work. We stood outside with our tea or coffee, talking quietly. It became our little habit, something only the two of us shared. But not everything was easy. Some workers started to look at us differently. When Peter came to my table to ask about the work, I felt their eyes on us. Once, during lunch, I heard two women whispering. One said, "Look at her. She is always with the manager." The other replied, "Yes, maybe she wants something from him." My face became hot. I looked down at my food and tried to act like I did not hear. But inside, I felt hurt. I did not want people to think I was trying to get special things. I only wanted to be seen as myself, not as someone using him. That evening, I walked home with heavy steps. Peter noticed. "You look quiet today," he said. I took a deep breath. "Some workers. They talk. They think I am close to you for the wrong reasons." Peter stopped walking. He looked serious. Sarah, listen. People will always talk. We cannot control them. But I know you. I see your heart. You do your job well. You are kind. That is all that matters. His words calmed me. Still, I worried. I had never been in this kind of situation before. One Saturday, he asked me again, "Would you like to go to the museum with me?" I had never been to that museum. I said yes. The building was big and quiet inside. We walked slowly, looking at old machines and tools. He explained some things to me. I listened and laughed when he joked. At one moment, I stood in front of a painting. It showed a small house near a river. I stared at it for a long time. "You like it?" he asked. "Yes," I whispered. "It feels peaceful." He looked at me and smiled. "Like you." I felt shy and looked away, but inside, my heart warmed. After the museum, we sat in a small cafe near the street. We drank tea and ate simple food. He asked me many questions. "What was your dream when you were a child?" I smiled. I wanted to be a teacher, but life was different. I needed money, so I started work early. He listened carefully. "I see. You are strong. You take life as it comes." I looked at him. "And you? What was your dream?" He smiled. "I wanted to travel. I thought I would see many countries, but my life became work, study, and now this factory. Still, maybe one day I will see more." That afternoon, I learned something important. He was not only my manager. He was a man with his own past, his own dreams, his own regrets. After that day, we met more often. Sometimes in the park, sometimes at small food places, sometimes just walking after work. He always asked about me, and he always remembered what I said. Once I told him that I liked blue flowers. The next week, he gave me a small blue flower in a glass bottle. He placed it on my table and said, "For your corner." My eyes filled with tears, but happy ones. Still, I was afraid. I asked myself many times, is this real? Or will it end quickly? One evening we walked near the river. The water moved slowly. Lights from houses shone on the surface. He looked at me and said softly, "Sarah, may I hold your hand?" I froze for a moment. My mind was full of fear and hope together. Then I put my hand in his. His hand was warm and gentle. "I wanted to do this for a long time," he said. I smiled and my voice was low. "Me too." That night, when I went to bed, I could not sleep. I stared at the ceiling and thought about his hand in mine. For the first time in many years, I felt safe. But life is not always so simple. The gossip at work grew louder. Some people smiled at me with false faces. Some whispered when I passed. I felt it every day. One afternoon, I went to the bathroom and cried quietly. I did not want him to see my tears. Later that week, he noticed I was quiet again. "Sarah," he said gently, "please tell me if something is wrong." I shook my head, but he touched my arm lightly. "I see it. You cannot hide." I looked into his eyes. "I feel ashamed. People do not respect me now. They think I want something from you." Peter's face grew serious. "Sarah, I will speak to them." "No," I said quickly. "That will only make it worse. Please, let it go. I will be fine." He sighed, then said, "I do not want you to suffer because of me, but I will respect your wish." Even though I tried to be strong, inside, I was afraid. Afraid that the gossip might break us apart. Afraid that he would one day think it was too hard. Then something happened that changed my view. One day, during a team meeting, Peter spoke in front of everyone. He talked about the factory, about our work, about the future. Then he said, "I also want to thank Sarah, not only for her work, but for her kindness and the way she makes this place better." Everyone clapped. My face turned red, but my heart felt light. For the first time, I was not afraid. He saw me, and he was not hiding it. After the meeting, I said to him quietly, "Why did you say that in front of everyone?" He looked at me. "Because it is true. And because I want the world to know that you are important." I had no words, only tears in my eyes. The weeks turned into months. Our bond grew stronger. We took things slowly, but each step felt real. He met my parents one Sunday afternoon. My mother whispered to me later, "He is a good man." My father looked at him with respect. I felt proud. I felt safe. Still, deep inside, I asked myself, where is this going? Will it last? Or will it end like a dream? One Sunday morning, he asked if we could walk in the park again. The sun was warm. Birds sang in the trees. We walked slowly, hand in hand. Then he stopped and looked at me with serious eyes. "Sarah," he said, "I know we met in a factory, a simple place. But for me, you are not simple. You are the most important part of my life. I feel lucky to have met you. I want to ask you something, but I am afraid too." My heart raced. I looked at him, waiting. He took a deep breath. "Sarah, will you share your life with me?" I felt tears run down my face. My voice shook. "Yes," I whispered. Then louder, "Yes, Peter, I will." He smiled, held me close, and for the first time in many years, I believed. Believed in love that was not painful, not heavy, but gentle and true. After that Sunday in the park, life felt brighter. I woke up each morning with a smile. I still went to the factory, still packed boxes, still drank tea during breaks, but now everything felt different. Because now, I had Peter beside me. He was not only my manager, he was my partner. He was my friend. He was my love. At first, we kept things quiet outside the factory. But people knew. They had already guessed, and after he asked me to share my life with him, we did not hide anymore. Some workers accepted it with smiles. Some did not. I heard whispers, but I was stronger now. Their words could not break me anymore, because Peter showed me every day that his love was real. One evening, after work, he walked me home as usual. We stopped at the small shop near my flat. He bought bread and fruit. When we sat down to eat, he said, "Sarah, we must talk about our future. Where do you see yourself in the next year?" His question surprised me. I had never thought far ahead. My life had always been about today, about making enough to live. about small steps. I looked at him and said honestly, "I only know I want to be with you." He smiled. "That is enough for me too." Still, the days were not always perfect. My parents worried. One Sunday, my mother said, "Sarah, are you sure? He is your manager. What if one day he changes?" Her words stayed in my mind. I knew she only wanted to protect me, but I felt afraid again. What if things did change? What if he woke up one morning and decided he did not love me anymore? That night, I could not sleep. I turned in bed and thought of every fear I had. In the morning, I was quiet. Peter noticed. "What is wrong?" he asked gently. "My mother worries," I whispered. "She says maybe one day you will change." Peter took my hand and held it firmly. "Sarah, people change, yes, but love does not have to fade. We build it every day. We care for it like a garden. I cannot promise tomorrow will be easy, but I can promise you I will always respect you and stand with you." His words calmed me. I realized that real love was not about perfect promises. It was about daily choices, small acts, and respect. Weeks passed. Our bond grew. He often visited my parents. My father grew to like him more each time. My mother watched him closely, but even she started to smile more when he came. One Friday, something happened at the factory. A machine broke, and the work stopped. Some workers grew angry. They shouted at Peter, saying he was not managing well. I watched him stand calm and patient. He explained the plan, he spoke kindly, and he never raised his voice. Later, when we walked home, I said, "How can you stay so calm when people are angry?" He smiled a little. "Because anger passes, but words stay. I do not want to use words that hurt. I want to use words that heal." In that moment, I understood why I loved him. He was strong, not in force, but in patience. One Sunday morning, we went again to the park. The air was cool, the trees were green. We sat on a bench and watched children play. Peter looked at me with soft eyes. "Sarah, I think it is time we plan our life together. I want us to live in one home." My heart raced. "You mean?" He smiled. "Yes. Let us find a small place together. A home that is ours." Tears filled my eyes. "Yes," I whispered. "Yes, I want that too." From that day, we started looking for a small flat. We did not need anything big. Only 2 rooms, a kitchen, and light from the windows. After some weeks, we found it. It was simple, but when I stood inside, I felt warm. "This is it," I said. Peter smiled. Our first home. The day we moved in, I placed my few clothes in the cupboard. He placed his books on a small shelf. We laughed at how empty the rooms looked. But I felt full inside. For the first time, I had a place that was not only mine, it was ours. Life together was not always easy. Sometimes we disagreed about small things. He liked to read at night. I liked to sleep early. He liked tea. I liked coffee. But every time we had a difference, we talked, we listened, we laughed, and that was enough. The factory still gave me long days, but when I came home and saw him waiting, I felt peace. He often cooked simple food, and we sat at the table together. We talked about work, about dreams, about nothing special, but every word felt special because it was shared. Months passed. One evening, he came home with a small box. My heart jumped. He opened it. Inside was a simple ring. He looked at me with a gentle smile. "Sarah," he said, "I do not want just to share a home with you. I want to share all of life with you. Will you marry me?" My eyes filled with tears again. I remembered the lonely days in the factory, the quiet tea breaks, the gossip, the doubts. And now, here I was, with this man, holding out his heart to me. "Yes," I whispered. "Yes, I will." He placed the ring on my finger and held me close. I felt safe. I felt seen. I felt loved. Now when I look back, I see how love came when I least expected it. It did not come with loud promises. It came with small acts of kindness. A smile in the morning, a hand under the umbrella, a flower in a bottle. And now, I wake up each day beside him. I still go to the factory, but life is not the same. My life is warmer, brighter, fuller. Because I learned that true love is not about perfect words. It is about respect, patience, and care. So, dear friends, thank you for listening to my story. If you are waiting for love, please do not give up. Love may come when you do not expect it. And when it is real, it does not hurt. It gives peace. It gives strength. And it feels like home.